stressing out for a blessing now. They keep guessing now. It's depressing right now. I'm built for hard times. Darkest days, I'ma shine. I'ma climb to the top. And I'ma be just stressing out for a blessing now. They keep guessing now. It's depressing right now. I'm built for hard times. Darkest days, I'ma shine. I'ma climb to the top. And I'ma be just fine. Fine, fine. I'ma be fine, just fine. I'ma be fine, little bitch. I'ma get my shit in line, little bitch. Hey, 1B, don't cry for shit. With my life on the line. Minor setback for a major comeback. Like selling A1 soft, make them come back. And all the bitches that left me, they can't come back. 11 nigga, I ain't dry like I'm a bum guy. Bitch, I don't backtrack. Bitches pay back. And I'ma fall back. Oh, I'm the quarterback. And I can't go back. You give me quarterback. So when a nigga get these backs up, I ain't holding back. I'm stressing out for a blessing now. Making guessing now. It's depressing right now. I'm built for hard times. Darkest days, I'ma shine. I'ma climb to the top. And I'ma be just stressing out for a blessing now. Making guessing now. It's depressing right now. I'm built for hard times. Darkest days, I'ma shine. I'ma climb to the top. And I'ma be just fine.
What's the deal? What is the deal? Waking back. It's the Wake and Bake Show, man. What's up, y'all? Hard and Finish. Bank Statement. Big Saw. Bloodthirst. Yeah, we switch it up. I made up my mind, man. I made up my mind, man. We're going to grind here. We're going to grind on this one right here, at least for a month. See what's going on. One thing about it, you're supposed to be subscribed to both channels anyway, man. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. Go to subscribe and hit that bell, hit all notifications so you can get all the notifications over here because, you know, we ain't really on no schedule, you know. Salute everybody, though. We getting in here, though. I know that. Spoken on some of that good Thrax. We in the lead. Smash that like button. Smash the likes. Appreciate everybody that supported the magazine. Everything that I dropped off yesterday, everything I got to drop off today. It just keeps pouring in. A lot of new people. I'm seeing a lot of new people getting it. A lot of people, hey, how do I get that? You know, they don't even know about a volume 1, you know? I shipped out 3 volume 1s yesterday. You know, they didn't know shit about the volume 1, you know? So it's definitely reaching the areas where I wanted to reach. You know, that's a blessing. It's always a good thing, you know, when we're making progress. Get in the building. It's early. These last 2 days, man, I tell you, they've been real rough. For all my allergy dudes, you know, it's been rough. I think I'm just now kind of getting to like a 5 or a 6, you know, other than like level 10. You know, I was on level 9 or 10 yesterday. Getting it back down, you know, get them sinuses right, get everything together. couldn't hang out outside as much. You know, I know that. Couldn't do it, man. Salute everybody. Hey, everybody that checked out that Beer and Bulldogs, you know. Salute to Calypso, everything they doing over there. You know, good content, man. I checked the video out. And it's pretty on point, man. You know, I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, the questions was on point, everything. I got to talk about some things that's going on and my whole angle, everything. I think it's a good look. You guys go check that out over there, that Beer and Bulldogs. You know, there's a bunch of other good dog man that he interviewed. He has I think I was like number 25 or 26. So he got a bunch of other interviews, some new guys. He got some old guys up there. Some guys, what we would call legends over there. New guys just trying to navigate. You feel me? You know how we do. Hold up, Bank. Big Bang Hank. Oh yeah, where my guy Yrock at? Oh yeah, okay, Yrock. You want that? I know you said you want that large sucker free. What about a XL? Would an XL work or no? Just let me know. If it's no, it's no. You know how we do. Uh-oh. My guy. My guy. Paul Harris. Come on, man. My guy, man. That's what I'm talking about. Man. Appreciate the support, brother.
I never knew that I would do numbers like this. I make a move. I'm tryna win. Ain't tryna lose. I'm tryna win. Ain't tryna lose.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, I appreciate it, dog. Paul. You know what I'm saying? Them pictures of that bitch, she look good, too. I'm not gonna lie, man. That I think I'm gonna pull the pedigree up. I think I know what it is, but I'm gonna see. I think that might go good with Old Haystack, not only because it's kind of close, but you know, I think that would be a good move right there. You know what I'm saying? Bank statement. Hey, both of you guys, that little extra on top of that, man, for, you know, because I've been paying the shipping. They were supposed to charge extra for shipping. I don't think they did. I think they on some bullshit. But, you know, I'll eat that one, man. You know, I'll eat that one. But I appreciate you guys for that little bit of extra on top of that.
I never knew that I would do numbers like this. I make a move. I'm tryna win. Ain't tryna lose. I'm tryna win. Ain't tryna lose.
Yes, sir. Hey, both of y'all text me that address as soon as I get up off of here. We to the post office again. There's about another. I went yesterday, but then last night and the rest of that day, I think I did about 12, so 14. I got 14, 15, because one of them I couldn't do. The address was on there, but I got the brother. Barbados, I got you, brother. I got you. We're going to be doing a lot of social media. So if you guys get these messages and everything, a lot of social media going on. I'm going to also try to tap in to the email list. That's one thing that I really wanted to do. They took my monetization, so they took all my memberships. We rebooted over here. We are eligible for memberships and all of that. I'll get that lined up. You know, so we can be on point, man. We can be on point, definitely. Lot boy, what up, brother? We getting it, man. Hey, the mag should be dropping. It's Tuesday. I know I dropped some off Saturday. I couldn't make that Friday. Friday, that's when the magazine dropped on that Friday. And I couldn't make it to the post office Friday, but I dropped off Saturday. So there should be a whole lot of magazines popping up, you know. And it's good, man. When we do good business, man, I feel like I'm a very business savvy guy, you know, and I just want to congratulate everybody for the support. But we reached, we ain't got in the green, but and I ain't gonna say how many we purchased, but with the first 2 days of sales, if anybody knows anything about business, with the first 2 days of sales, we recouped a fifth of the investment, right? So we ain't, I mean, it's gonna be a matter of time before, you know, this gonna be all paid for. Everything's gonna be paid for. We're gonna have the funding for volume 3. Okay. I want everybody to reach out if you got those studs, if you got, I mean, it's a new way of doing it. This is a new thing going on, right? We're gonna tap in many different ways. We're not gonna do what 100 people are gonna do. It's just not gonna happen. We're gonna do what very few are gonna do. Just like if this was my boys magazine, shit. Hey, man, I got this story. You know, check this out. You know, let me put that one in there. It might be anonymous or something. You know, people want to hear these stories, man, about these dogs. I didn't have one about dog thieves in there. I think we need one in there about that. I don't want to write it. I got a couple stories about some dog thieves and different things, but I wanted to be more rounded off with more players, more people that can get familiar with more personalities. That's what we doing over here. Buck City Reloaded. You know, I'm attempting to as a matter of fact, I don't even got to say what I'm attempting to do because it don't even matter. I'm gonna knock that shit out the park anyway. You know, but this what we doing. We over here. This one's monetized. I'll get the memberships going. Super chats, everything, donations, everything. Although, hey, the Cash App is just fine now. You know, Cash App don't take nothing out. You know, super chat. You know, they gonna hit you for about 30%. YouTube's gonna get theirs. That's cool though. We ain't worried about what other people are making. We worried about how much can we make for other people. That's the difference. Because if I help y'all get to the bag, shit, I know my bag's gonna be sitting there when I get home. And you know, that bag's gonna be sitting there. Oh yeah, what we doing? Your rock, we doing the large, we doing the large. I got the extra large ready to go. But if you need the large, I got you. Just let me know. If that extra large is good, which I ain't trying to push it on you. You know, I mean, I've been washing the shit out of mine. You know, they shrink a little bit. You know, they get a little shrinkage to it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I got you. I got you. Yes, sir. I got you, bruh. Oh yeah, no, I got it. We got it. I'm dig in there. I'm sure I got a black large. I'm sure. The colors, the color I'm out of is black 2X. That's because I be rocking them 2X joints. I be slapping out, I got about 9 of them. I got two, I didn't even realize it. I got 2 sucker frees. I got 2 sucker frees. You feel me? I ain't lying. I got the sucker free on right now. We got the sucker free on right now. I looked upstairs. I got another one. So I've been peeling these out of the package, man. Peeling them up out the package, rocking them joints. I don't even feel right wearing other shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. It don't feel right at all. So let's get that like button smashed all through here. We're gonna build this one up over here. Try to keep it clean. I'm gonna try to keep this one clean. That way we don't get the strike on that joint, so we can continue to play that YouTube game. We got to continue to play that game, Just like out here in these streets dealing with these dogs, you got to play the people's game. At the end of the day, got to play their game. They want you to do it a certain way. They want to get on you about having this and that. It's a pit bull. We know what goes on with these dogs. It's got a history behind it, and it'll follow you. Just like if you're dealing with gangs in the streets, that gang probably has a history that follows that gang. So even if you get in 20, 30 years down the road, got to understand that they already have a history that people frown upon already, that's what it is in real time, Oh yeah, thou shalt not dry stitch. I gotta get another one of them in the atmosphere. That one's doing numbers right there. That sucker freeze hard too. It's real simple. It's like, okay, it gets straight to the point. It's real simple. I think that's a good thing. But both of those are definitely doing a little bit of numbers. Let me check something out real fast. Check some stuff out. Yeah, man. Smash that button. Smash that button. Smash that button. We're gonna back up. There was some good combo on this one. We backing up a little bit. Backing up a little bit. We had 7-8 on the joint. Big Bang Hank on the joint. Usual suspects. When we just get to Get mic'd up. We were talking about the Michael Myers dog. Okay, they won't let me switch windows. Hold up, let me get this one. Let me snatch it and put it over here. RBG, what up, brother? He said Turbo was 6 months when this one came out.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, she
Pretty little thing.
she got that she a freak, man. She do everything. She
Man,
can
that's
talk.
that Michael Myers. That's that Michael Myers.
Got that
That's
Michael
it.
Myers in the
You know, I got to show you the peb.
There you go.
Look at right there. That's Michael Myers top and bottom. Shit.
It's sexy red. That's what when I'm talking about preservation. You know, those are along the lines of the dogs that I'm talking about. You know, when you talking about preserving the line, passing on the genetics, doing perfect line breedings of your animals to be able to get those type of dogs, you know, it's a good thing when you're able to capture all of that. You know, I mean, it's tight. Michael Myers. I mean, I could take her any way. You can outcross it. You can go back in. You know, the goal is to not lose the lineage too early in the game. Right? This is something that you already know. It's tried and true. To the standard that you know. Okay? So you got to keep that locked down. You can't fall into the peer pressure. Yeah, there probably are guys out here trying to do bad things with the animals. You can't fall into that. You got to focus on keeping that lineage around. That lineage has already done what it needs to do. You know, now we're just trying to keep it. The Mayday Dragon Lady dogs. You know, you're getting two different kids right off of Michael Myers. With two totally different bottom halves, but work well together. Coming from good dogs all through the pedigree. You know, you can look down the pedigree, you see nothing but good dogs. A lot of times it's going to be a good dog. It's going to have some value. They say the next man's trash is the next man's treasure, man. I had a partner. It didn't matter how significant that blood was. It didn't matter if that was the last dog on earth. You know, he didn't care. He had a standard and he stuck to it. I can't say he was the best at preserving shit though. Terrible at preserving shit. You know, you look at all the bloodlines, you know, somebody got, and then, you know, they really only have very little to show for all of the bulldogging that they were doing, you know. So me, I'm gonna get you to think. I'm gonna get you to be smart about what dogs you use to add into your pedigree and how you're gonna keep them around, you know, because that's what I do. That's what I'm into. I'm into the preservation of the breed. What would happen if you only got 2 left? What would happen if, you know, you don't have too many of these dogs left? I guess your job is to make sure that never happens.
Look at her. Look at her. She just like the nigga.
Yeah. You straight? Oh, okay. I got to stick back to that bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Hey, it's what 7-8 said. That was a good idea. He said, stick Doc to that bitch. That will be a cold combo. Right? You're throwing some more Michael Myers in there. You're adding Little Lynch to the fold, which gives you more Lynch. If I'm not mistaken, Little Lynch, I mean, he might be 3 or 4 times Lynch, if I'm not mistaken. I think 3 times Lynch. Double bred son back to, I mean, they were breeding that up. Right? The Mama Lynch dog down there off of two half brother, half sister to Michael Myers. So you're preserving that right there. Then you're taking that back to Michael Myers. You know, those breedings done by me. Right? To make sure that it stays where it needs to be. You put it there. I can rely on somebody else to do it, and it might get done right. But I can do it myself and make sure that it gets done right, you know.
I got to get stuck to that bitch.
It's too rare.
Hey, let's
That thing bred so beautiful, man. Oh my God.
She bred up. I like that. That bitch.
I'm waiting on that Iceman shit. I'm waiting on that meeting female out there Iceman shit. To bring back to this old War Pony 2 Krishan Lynch shit. Krishan Ross.
Okay, so Krishan, I think she pump faked us. Her and Iceman was supposed to get together. And it was a pump fake. You know, they was doing too much, got into it. You know, just not great. Not great. You know, somebody ended up getting bit. One of the homies and shit, you know. You know, anytime it's gonna be difficult. You know, a lot of times a bitch, she could pump fake you, and you know, she really not in heat. And that could make that attitude real bad, you know. So she's out now. We're not gonna that breeding, it was supposed to go down. It's not gonna go down right now, and we just gonna wait and see if she wants to pop back in another time. Pyro, what up, brother? We in here. But yeah, she wasn't ready because I was like, shit, well, shit, throw baby Osiris on that bitch. Throw I was even thinking War Pony again, do that one again, even though, those pups are the age that they are. There is a significant amount of them that, I've been keeping in contact with. And just based on the crosses that War Pony's been doing with Mike dogs, it's crazy, It's crazy. Oh, Sexy Red, she got to be about 15, 16 months or something right now. 15, 16 months. She's still a young buck. She's still young.
Fox.
I talked to them. They about to breed ice, man. They breed ice, man. The Chris Sean.
Hey, look, man. Hey,
Oh, don't
that
say
Chris
that, bro.
Sean, and see, we backing up. That one ain't gonna happen. So
Don't say that, bro.
no,
Go ahead and put me a female in the chamber, man. I'm going to go ahead and put me down for a female. I need a female to go with Turbo just to make it all right. Need a goddamn female to go with Turbo to cross that War Pony Michael Myers.
Bank, listen, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Whatever you think about doing, forget about that. Trust me, bro.
That's Sexy Red brother. That's Sexy Red brother right there.
Bring that bitch to Doc, bro. And
that's Sexy Red little mate, bro.
Hey, that would be dope. I ain't gonna lie. That would be dope. Take that bitch to Doc. That'll be a cold ass pedigree right there. And that's kind of what you do, though. You're keeping those families together. They've already been outcrossed. You've been line breeding. You've already been doing things. And Doc has a little outcross in him already. So you'll be repeating the wheel all over again right there. And it's not based off of purity. It's based off of, when Doc was developed, I brought an outcross in to start. The creation of Doc, that was a outcross was done with some similar features, but we added a lot of Eli Carver, Snooty, you know what I mean? We added Heinzel. We added a lot in there. It wasn't a significant amount, but we did add it in there to start, right? So then we took a daughter of Michael Myers to that wonderful outcross that we dropped in, and we threw Michael Myers' half brother on top of that, which was loaded with, other lynch dogs. And, you want to get as many of those dogs in the gene pool as you can, in my opinion, because it just opens it up more so that your dogs can be functionable. If you love that bloodline that much, I wouldn't go super tight because you don't have any room. You don't have any other dogs that are bringing other genetics to the table. That's why it's important to do half brother, half sister, and, breeds like that. And you see a lot of dogs that are bred like that are good dogs, including the dog that we're talking about, Michael Myers. Right?
Brother there, right?
I'm looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
I like that with that motherfucker bread. Bring that motherfucker to Doc, man. And let's do something. Let's do something dangerous out here in these streets.
That man said Iceman going to Krishan Rock. So I'm gonna have the Krishan Rock on top and bottom. With the War Pony on one side and the Iceman on the top with the Michael Myers.
And Chris Sean's real special. I don't know if her dad is still around. He was getting up there in age. He was probably like at least 10 or 11 when I bred to him. And then last time I checked, he went to another yard. The dog's got to be 12 years old at this point. When you get up there in age and stuff, and a lot of people, they weren't breeding this dog. This dog wasn't bred for her daddy. It was just one of those ones that I always had my eyes on. But her daddy, he wasn't bred for 5-7 years, just sitting on the yard, right? And then we got lucky. One of my guys, fumbled the bundle. It happens, man. But we only ended up with one bitch, Krishan Rock. And she been able to weather the storm and make it through. She bred the war pony, made that epic breeding. Ever since then, just been outstanding, phenomenal athlete, on the yard, off the yard. Everything about her temperament, structure, bone density. She really checks all the boxes, in my opinion. The way she looks, just the temperament of her offspring, the way they're growing up, beautiful, jaw dropping features, on a dog. When you see them, we always get, they look older than they actually are, mature looking dogs, right? That almost skipped that goofy stage, just like Turbo. He damn near skipped that goofy stage. How they usually about 11 months or something, they just kind of go through this little goofy stage, right? In between like 7 and like 13 months, if you know these dogs, and he's done nothing but look like a grown man ever since he was a puppy, so those are some of the features that we look for, when we putting that shit together. And I'm letting them know, like, hey man, that's not the standard right there. There's something in there that's not coming out right, or it might be a breed, and you might be like, man, why don't you do that? I won't do it. I don't care. A lot of people wanted me to breed Iceman back to his littermate sister, Mafia Myers. That's just a breeding that I just don't think, in my head, I just don't think those will be good dogs. I just don't think that those will be good dogs. I think the genetic makeup of those dogs were not built to be bred together, if that makes sense, right? So you'll see me steer away from trying to promote, like, hey man, you guys should do this. Nah, I don't think that would be a good idea. But Mafia the War Pony, they just did Mafia to Baby Osiris, giving you that little bit of out, right? That'll be like kind of like Doc, because Baby Osiris is a littermate brother to Doc's mama, right? So you're throwing that on top. I would throw Lynch on top of that, but I'd be throwing Michael Myers and Yellow Page on top of that. It's kind of the same type of breeding. Well, on the bottom of that, sorry. Same type of breeding, though. 7-8 might want to grab one of those, I'll tell you. If Mafia Myers gives off enough of them,
Oh my! I need one of those females, man.
It goes good with the mic. It goes real good.
You know what it is? They have brothers. You know how I go. War Pony and Michael Myers have brothers.
Yeah, but that's
how the gumbo goes.
People already done tried that. It didn't work. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I know what you're saying, but people done tried that shit and it didn't work. Explain that.
They ain't do it the right way, bro. They ain't do it the way you did it.
Hey, no, they ain't got the right dogs. You gotta have the right dogs. I'm sorry, because you don't know what goes into it, and you don't know how preoccupied some people are. Just like that Krishan's daddy that was just posted. It was like, fuck. Let me do it this year. Let me do it this year. Keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Finally got it done. Right. Got that breeding done. I think that was about it was about 2020, somewhere around there. And just one lonely puppy. So we can't talk about we can't.
Hey, you know, I got a bitch over here. I got a bitch over here, Lady Eloise. That's she bred up real nice, and she.
Hold on, I got Kate.
You hear me?
In the back. Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, I got a little bitch, Lady Eloise, over here that's bred up real nice, and she's off the same shit as your enemigo, your boy. What's the nigga name? Pelican Bay. She off of Pelican Bay litter. That boy he got, but
he said by a big dog. Oh my God. Let me skip this part. We ain't even bringing that over here. That's why I came over here,
She game as they come. She ready for it. She game. I see her. She game. The only thing about her is I don't like her bite. She don't hold on to her bite how I like it. But that's a malfunction that I can correct. I'm gonna try to correct that with a few breedings. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah.
She bred up. She heavy bred off of that what's the dog name from Mount Kent? What's that motherfucker name? The grand champion
Hog.
Hog. Heavy bred off of Hog.
Oh, okay.
Hog on top and bottom. So she ready to go. I just don't like her bite. That's the only thing I don't like about her is her bite. Other than that, I'm gonna do an outcross first and then bring her back to doc.
You gotta do take her to doc. Take her to doc. You ain't gotta do no outcross. Doc,
I'm
gonna
take her doc just to see what happened, but
Doc got the prorator.
7-8, man. Save yourself, man. Get rid of that shit. Get rid of that shit, bro. Trust me. If you know what I know, that shit ain't gonna pan out, bro. You're gonna fuck up your whole line. You're gonna look 10 years down the line. You got good dogs, but you got that shit in there. Hey, man. To each his own, though.
Is that out, right, Book?
yeah, he got that crow in there. He got that crow.
The crows are out, and then he got the other side that'll match up with the Michael Myers stuff. That match the hog stuff. But yeah, man, I want some of that Iceman and Krishan Rock, but they're gonna all come together just like a beautiful movie. They're gonna all come together.
Yo, Bank and Buck trying to hide that shit. They ain't told me nothing about this. I would have been jumping that.
Yeah, they babies. They still babies.
Man, Bank over there in the cut with that fire.
Yeah.
Brother and sister. Sexy Red is so beautiful.
Everybody got to play their part on the team.
CBK,
You know what I'm saying?
Let's CBK get
Better
something.
believe it.
What's good with it, brother? It's going down.
Man. You got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been kicking that shit this morning. I hear y'all.
Yes, sir. No,
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful Monday.
I had jumped on here. There was a gentleman talking about how everybody be talking about not breeding dogs before a certain age or maturity and stuff like that.
That was the LDBC General 7A.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What
I mean,
I missed what you said.
no, I said I had jumped in here because I heard some speaking about the breeding females before a certain age, how people be on that type of time would tell you to do it, but
Hey, they doing it, man. They got grandpas at 2.5. You know, like, come on, bruh. Sometimes you think that everything in the dark doesn't come to the light, man. It doesn't spell this guy's breeding quality to me, right? It spells that this guy just want to get some dogs real quick, and he know that there's a bunch of dummies out here that's gonna consume that shit, so they want to get that shit out there. There's nothing to it. They're not a good dog that you ever produced, ever. Okay. That's where we're at these days, though. You feel me? Look at the backdrop of that. That's a historical fucking litter. There ain't just some puppies in the background. That's a historical litter back there, man. You know? Off some historical dogs. Years in the game, right? I've been going through my little court battle and shit, you know, longer than most of these dudes been in the game. You know? So it's levels to this shit. Make sure you got somebody that actually loves making good dogs instead of somebody that just loves to breed dogs and just beat people over the head with the grift. Overpopulating shit, you know. You got to let your dogs do the talking, man. You can't be talking about a dog that's in the back of the pedigree all the time. Especially if he ain't yours. That's how you have your own bloodline. Stop talking about other people's shit. Have confidence in the dogs that you got in your pedigree, man, for the right reason. Come and heat at 9, 10 months and shit, breed the dog. Come on, man.
won't do it themselves. You know what I mean?
Right. Everybody told me you can't do this, you can't do that, and I'm trying to follow the bulldog rules to be a gentleman. And then my dogs is dying and losing. I'm losing my dogs on the yard.
For sure.
And these dudes is breeding 9-month-old babies. Talking about, oh no, she bred right. I'm like, what?
No doubt.
Hold up.
You know what I'm saying? But the whole time they preaching that bullshit to you. Preaching that bullshit to you, though.
I look at it like this. I don't see it as all the way being bullshit. I think it's acceptable during certain times and or circumstances. You know what I mean? I don't think that you should get a dog from somebody else with no understanding of what the traits are. You never seen the family. You never, you know what I mean? You just guessing and you just do things. I don't think people should do that. But if somebody's been running that line for years and years and years, and they understand the traits that they're getting and they're gonna get, and they gotta do it because they may have lost another dog, or it might be the last blood or something like that, then I understand in those type of terms. You know what I mean? But just doing it and with no understanding of the family or the line of dogs,
yeah, but 9 months is 9, 10 months. That's early. Now I can see 13, 15, 16, 18 months, but that 10-month shit, like what we've been seeing, that I'll never buy a dog from that. Never. That's Flunkyville 2.0. You're not going to get nothing good out of that. Then you grow up, then that bitch grows up and she ain't shit, or she's shy as hell, or she don't got no type of animal aggression, nothing. Then you get a whole bunch of puppies. Now what? Even if it was an emergency, now you get a whole bunch of, because you thought, we know the traits, we know what we're gonna get, but we know what we're gonna get from bitches that are of age that at least showed us that they're good dogs. Not so much a brand new dog that's on this earth. Like, good luck trying to find out what the hell that dog is throwing. Then what happens when she don't work out? What do you just keep her anyway? It just turns into a whole line of bullshit, bro. I'm telling you. So now you got to keep her. That's the mama. Oh, the pups look pretty good. You got to keep her. Then you do the shit again. Some dude, they doing it. They repeat offenders. I showed you the pedigrees, man. If you go back up there, they deleted that shit because they know they was ass wrong. They went on Pedigree Online and they deleted that shit, dog. I'm telling you. What we gonna do now? Buck City's back around. What the fuck are they gonna do now? Yeah, but I'm fortunate, if you got an old ass dog and shit, you know what I'm saying, that's the only, you want to kind of make sure that situation doesn't happen. Maybe do a breeding before he gets old to one of your good bitches and put some of that shit away instead of just trusting that, you've been getting these traits from this bitch. She might be a generation removed from everything else you've been getting. She might be just one generation too tight. And you don't know it because she's only 9 months.
I don't get that.
Oh yeah. You're doing the breeder disservice if you just throwing slop together and hoping that it stick without doing the disservice of the research or what you're doing or what you got.
Right. So like when I see big kennels do it, that's been running the same family for a long time. Okay, but if you got these dudes who ain't put in no work with the line, who ain't developed and who ain't developed the line at all, and they just doing it just because the ped look good and it's supposed to be like this, then that's different, if you ask me. So that's where you get the people. I think they right when they say, man, you shouldn't just be breeding them dogs. Yeah, don't just get one for no
No, what they
understanding of it.
saying, what they saying is, or what he's saying is though, they lying when they say, "Oh, don't breed that dog then." But when they turn around and they doing the same damn thing and they breeding they shit,
Right.
that's what bro was
my
saying.
point.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
like don't appreciate.
Well, they could breed it. I wouldn't say don't breed it, but I'm not buying it. They can breed that shit. They can breed it. I'm not taking part in it though. You can believe that.
Shit to me, and then turn around and then you breed because you talking about but she bred, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, as if this is what they doing. right? Consistent pressure. They saying like they vision is better than my vision. So basically, okay, they telling me I got a dog that's bred the fuck up, and I like how she look. But no, until she prove me. I'll breed until you know for sure. And I'm taking that to heart. I'm like, okay, well, I ain't gonna breed until I know for sure. Then this bitch end up dying or something, or this dude end up dying, this male. And then I'm like, damn, okay, fuck, man, motherfucker didn't make it. They didn't make the cut. Then these motherfucking big name legendary niggas is saying shit like, hey man, I got this motherfucking litter. You might want to get one off of this litter. Oh, well, who is this? This is my boy such and such to my girl such and such. Whoa, that bitch ain't like 11 months. Yeah, man, but she bred up, man. Nigga, my dog was.
Hey, that was epic right there, man. That was epic. Because that's what happens. That's what happens. They tell you not to breed that young ass shit. Oh, don't do this, don't do that. But they doing it. I see that a lot, man. I see that a lot.
Boy, such and such to my girl, such and such. Whoa, that bitch ain't like 11 months. Yeah, man, but she bred up, man. Nigga, my dog was bred the fuck up.
You know what I'm saying? See, on the corner, they telling me, on the corner, telling me, nah, hold off, man, hold off. Just give it a little time. Give it a little time. You know, everything ain't gonna come together. But then going on their yard and, oh, well, shit, this shit ready now. I know it's ready. I know what I'm doing. So let me go ahead and put it together now because I know what I'm doing. But you on the other end, you telling me, oh, hold off, bro. Hold off. You know how the old school do it. You know, take your time. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time you over there breathing the hell out your shit. Come on, man.
That's why I respect people. I respect people who go by their own formula because
exactly.
If listen, the streets gonna know the truth. If that motherfucker ain't producing shit, the streets gonna know, hey, this motherfucker ain't did shit.
And on top of that, it's the same thing happens when you start.
But that's when you move in, though. You know, you just kind of develop your own program. You know, you gotta, and I gotta stop this too. You gotta let people do that shit. I mean, I might go in on somebody. They trying to go in on me or they co-signing, and you know, we don't do that over here. But at the end of the day, I really don't care what people breed and what they do. But I just gotta stay clear of that because I don't want to waste 10 years on my yard because I done added something to my program that was not solid. Like we're saying, that you don't know anything about. You don't know anything about the family. You don't know anything about the traits. You don't know anything about it because the guy that you got it from didn't know shit about it either. He breed them jokers young. And they bred good. They offer this. So somebody thinks that it'll be good. Oh, yeah, let me breed it with this. Oh, he's off of this. He's off of this. It just turns into a big-ass circus. You know? And the dog that you got your dog off, he never gets his name out there because he's not shit. Right? He's insignificant. So we never bring that name up, but we always bring up the name of the dogs behind it. That should be a red flag right there. Like, you still talking about this shit from way back in the pedigree. Right? That's what I've been talking about the whole time. Right? Yeah. Knowing what's what will get you through a lot.
Seeing this, when you start seeing dogs that was just born 2-3 years ago, they all the way back in the 4th, 5th generation, you know, you start seeing.
There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, damn, how that motherfucker get way back there? The owner of the dog just got the motherfucker 6 years ago, right? The owner of the dog just got the dog 5 or 6 years ago, 5-something years ago. And you mean to tell me that your dog is already in the 3rd generation? The dog that you got a puppy off of this dog. And you mean to tell me that you already have it in the 3rd or 4th generation, dog? Listen, that is garbage breeding. It's garbage breeding. I wouldn't say peddling because, some people, they're not just moving a whole bunch of shit. And some dudes won't sell that shit because they can't. But there's always going to be somebody waiting to get a deal, and people know it. It's like, okay, there's a lot of people, they're waiting to get a real good deal on these good bred dogs. The pedigree. But if you know what goes into it and you're smart, you're not going to go for that because you know that it's not that easy. Furthermore, a lot of dudes, they buy dogs off of a dog just because of the hype. Let's say a dog is real hyped up. He's a hyped up dog. Everybody's, oh, I love him. This is dog, right? You going to get shit off of him and you don't even know what kind of dog he really was. You just know about the hype about him. So then you're going to breed it up, brother, sister, thinking you goddamn, what's the, that freak shit. That freak dog. With the barracuda and the freak nasty and all, all that shit bred up tight. You think you that. Brother, sister, brother, brother. That shit's suspect, dog. It is. It's letting me know that you didn't have the uncle. It's letting me know that you didn't have none of the other brothers. You're trying to save a buck. Some breeds are like that. But in the logical world, if you're not breeding off of the pedigree, it ain't going to line up like that. It ain't just going to be like that all the time. If you're being real with yourself. I see it more than often. Way more than often. They're going to breed that shit together. They getting a pair, they breeding them motherfuckers together, man. I had motherfuckers, they get the Michael Myers shit. Brother, sister, breed it together right away. 11 months old. Like, okay. I couldn't really say nothing. I was a little disappointed. Can't really say nothing, though. I'm not going to inquire none of that shit. I don't want none of that shit. I think I want to stick with something that's got a little bit more thought put into it. That's all. It's no shade. Motherfuckers that think it's shade is the same motherfucker that's trying to hide something. Like, if you ain't trying to hide nothing, then shit, you don't think that's shade. But if you trying to hide, that's when it becomes shady. That's when it becomes a shady thing.
Like, man, what the hell? What the hell is going on over there?
Facts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like don't make your own decision. But when you make your own decision, you can't be worried about you won't be worried about another motherfucker say you can say, well, I fucked up, I did it because I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of
Right.
listening to a motherfucker holding you back, you know what I'm saying, trying to hold you back the whole time, motherfucker trying to bring you down because he know you got the good shit.
Right.
Then he
I
going
agree
behind
on
your
that
back
for
and
sure.
going ahead and
I,
then he
I
going
I
behind and
agree
then
on
bringing
that.
his shit up.
I
You know
agree
what I'm
on that
saying?
for
You gotta
sure.
watch motherfuckers like that, man.
You should
You gotta watch
always follow
motherfuckers
your
like
own.
that.
You should always follow your own mind. You know, do what you think
Yeah,
good.
right.
And then at the same
Yeah, right.
time, there should be a standard to this shit too, man. I mean, we shouldn't just
Oh
be
yeah, oh yeah.
getting,
I'm just saying
you
only if
know.
you see what you want to see. If you believe your eyes and your eyes telling you this is what it is and this is what you want to see, you don't got to see it for a whole 2 years. If you already see it, instead of showing you the same thing, go ahead and goddamn 14, 15 months and go
That
ahead and
part.
do what you got to do,
Yeah,
man.
for
But
sure, for sure.
then when they get on the ground, you'll find out what is what at
Real
time.
talk. Real talk.
But go ahead and get yourself on the ground so you can be safe and you can secure your shit.
Yeah.
And then study, then hoping and wishing, saying, "Damn, I had a good one and I fucked up." You
Yeah.
know, fuck
Yeah.
that. That's the rush feeling.
Biggest problem with doing them with breeding them early is you just don't have no time to observe. You know what I mean? Oh, you know, like when you let them dogs grow up a little bit, you have time for observation. You know what I mean? And that
Oh,
can be
definitely,
important.
definitely,
That can be
and,
important
and
in
um,
keeping a family going. You know what I mean?
and definitely in a perfect world,
Yeah, because they could turn out trash. I mean, rather because you breed dogs all the time. If you a breeder, you breed trash dogs too. Ain't no breeder just say that they got every dog that they raised up is a good dog. You know, it might have bad habits, bad this, bad that, weak this, weak that, all kind of ailments that come with it. You got to look at it for what it is.
you know, that'll be the wait till they 2.5, 3 years old. They don't show you every single thing. You know what I'm saying that you want to see, and you know they breed worthy. This and that, this, but you done saw this shit for the last year and a half. You done saw this same thing, and you knew this. Then you get up to about almost a year and 18 months, and then something happened, and then an accident happened. And he said, "Damn, I had a good one." You know, you had a good one the whole time, and you fucked up. You could have bred it 6 months earlier. You know what I'm saying? You could have bred that motherfucker 6 months earlier and had something on the ground. Fuck it. Like if you done seen it, you know this is that. Don't fuck up your chance, your opportunity to keep your shit going, man. That's all I'm saying.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it
you
is.
want to wait till they mature. You want to wait till they perfect. But
He said, fuck that. He said, don't fuck up that opportunity. You got a good dog. Don't fuck up that opportunity. Fuck it around, you know, messing around and not securing the line, right? These are all good things. I guess they need to be done, but I'm still gonna be like, shh. If I see somebody doing something, I don't care if it's they just trying to preserve. I don't care. If it's unethical to me on the outside looking in, that's when you make that adjustment, I know it's gonna be hard for me, but I'm gonna try not to even micromanage cats. I tell you my opinion on things and what I would do, but I'm not gonna just tell you not to do it. I'm gonna try not to, because I do it a lot. But I run a podcast too, so I gotta say shit. But because it's very easy, just like there's dudes, the way they talk, I just won't buy a dog from them. That simple. Just the way they fucking talk and their whole logic, it's like, No way would I buy a dog from this guy. Nope. I read between the lines. You know, you got to read between the lines. You got to see what other people don't see. Like, yeah, you just got that bitch 9 months ago. You breeding her already. Or somebody just get a bitch right away. Boom. You know, pups for sale. They're not keeping none of them. You know? So, to each his own, man. I think it's more messed up situations to get in. That's why you got to stay connected to who you know. I think that's important. I think the guy that you know should get that next dollar if you're just gonna go out here and spend it. Some of your dudes, they won't spend what you know. They'll get all the game from you. They'll soak up all the game from you, learn everything from you, you know, but they won't say, hey, man, let me buy that. Let me get one of those right there. I'm not trying to get no deal. What you charging people for those? Let me buy one. Let me support what you got going on. You know? One of my partners said he needed some fucking dog food. Shit, I said, man, look, let me get one of them. Put me down for one of them little motherfuckers, man. How much you want? You know, here, let me send you this right now. You know? Shit, you know, the motherfucker, shit, motherfucker probably don't even want. But if it's one of your guys, why not support what he got going on? You know he got good dogs. Somebody's gonna want it. So it's just a difference between people that look out for each other and then people that, you know, it could be a car driving down the street on the wrong side. You know, motherfucker ain't gonna say nothing. They let you get your head tore off. Nobody needs to be around people like that. Even people like that don't need to be around people like that. You know. Let me know what's up, man. They coming to get me, you know, let me know. Look out for me. You know. So nah, man, these dogs, man, look, comes with a lot of territory. It's a lot of territory we can cover too, you know.
But sometimes you got to make it happen, man. You know.
Hey, Buck, check the private chat, Buck, and pull up Lord Mayday pedigree. Buck out here shaking the movement.
What he
But
say?
part of juicing.
Buck out here shaking the movement.
What he say?
Buck out here shaking the movement.
Yeah.
But part of juicing.
You say he juicing.
Yeah, probably drinking some juice. You know, he got the juicer. He taking break and let us cook it up. But he'll bring it up. But now you pissed off 7 days saying, damn, I had a good one. This motherfucker was a foul one. You know what I'm saying? He just couldn't fuck with Doc, but that don't mean he wasn't no good one.
Right. And who's to
You know what I'm saying?
Who's to say what's gonna happen 2 years from now? At the end of the day, I like his style, I like how he was bred. He wasn't no
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell no. Nah. And you say he was still scratching too?
Right,
Hell yeah.
So at the end of the day, he was with the sheep, just can't fuck with another nigga.
Right.
The other nigga shit just a little bit too much for him. Damn right, but he wasn't scared. You know what I'm saying? Hell no, damn right.
It's crazy though, because some of those dogs they perform pretty good, damn good. The ones that don't perform as good, they sometimes produce a lot better than those other dogs. You know this.
But see, that's why you got
it. Ooh. Shit. Boy, we need some more data on that one. We need more data on that. Now, yeah, you will get a dog that doesn't perform good. You know, he might outproduce another dog, you know, but there's so many nuances that go into it. Like, we're not breeding them to the same bitch. We're not breeding them. You know, somebody might have bred it a different way. We go down pedigrees all the time. These guys just breeding it tight. So of course they're not going to get this success. You got these ones. They went to a camp that does dogs all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the good dog that produces good is gonna produce over anything, you know. Even if you got one that's not as good as him and he produces too, I think that the edge will go to the better dog, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion, because well, you know, it all depends on how you breed. I don't think there's no data that can really tell that. But to say that because there's been good dogs that produce good dogs. There have been okay dogs that produce good dogs. And then the majority of the dogs that are bred, period, we don't know anything about. You know, we only know 0.5% of anything about the dogs, you know. Who was good, who was not, who was, you know, it might be a whole line in the pedigree of dogs that were terrible. We don't know, though. A lot of times, you know, we're talking about modern day, old times, modern day. Yeah, we get history. We know about some of the famous dogs that we see in our pedigree, but every single dog, you don't know that. And then you don't know what everybody else got. So most of the dogs will be we will probably think they're inactive dogs, like they're not hunting shit, they're not doing anything, you know, haven't done anything unless they got some type of merits behind it. That's just subconsciously what we think, right? So if you had a yard full of dogs, and let's say they were all brothers, and let's say they all produced, I think the better dog will probably had a higher ceiling of producing a good dog, you know. Or let's say this guy across the fence has a bunch of dogs that's not shit, and I got a yard full of superstars. I'm gonna produce better dogs than him, way more than not. You know, his ceiling is not even gonna be as high as mine. You know, uh, sometimes you can make a good cross and the shit works, but all in all, and we go down all the bloodlines and breed dogs to this dog, you're not really gonna get too much out of that, man. At some point, you got to have a good dog in there to pull off of. You know, you can't get too lost in the sauce. But you know, that good dog that can produce, and he's a good dog. Shit, you can bet your bottom dollar on that. You know, you're gonna get good dogs all the time. You're gonna respect them because you're gonna actually see, like, okay, they like him or they similar to him.
why you got to see it too, man. That's why you got to see it too. Go ahead and get them pups on the ground.
Yeah,
You don't got it. Not on the first
I just
heat.
did it. I waited till a good one was over 4 years old, and he passed away.
See what I'm saying? That's way too long in my eyes. You saw that shit at 1.5, 2 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to wait till they mature and shit, but you don't want to miss your opportunity to keep your shit going, man. You don't want no what if. Go ahead and breed that motherfucker to some of the females you got. Get the puppies on the ground.
But sometimes that lot boy, I'm gonna tell you, sometimes you can't preserve everything. You know, um, it comes a point where, I mean, that's your only dog and shit. You know, I think you're doing it for the wrong reason. If them is your only two dogs, you're doing it for the wrong reason. So at some point, you should have other dogs that particular loss, although it could have been great, you could have did it, you know, you could have bred them earlier. That would mean that you're probably breeding everybody though, right? Everybody's probably not going to get bred on the yard. You know, that would, and then you talk about keeping them and watching the traits and, you know, all of this stuff. Sometimes you got to line up a bitches that, you know, there's some bitches that's why we move them. We move them to different yards. Like you get 11, 12, 13 males, right? And then, you know, you got this good ass male, like he ain't never gonna breed. That motherfucker ain't never gonna breed, bro. And we could say, oh, I could lose it. I gotta preserve it. But the reality is that he's never gonna fucking breed because he has too many alpha males in front of him. It could be the same way with a female that sit there for 3 or 4 years. It's obviously they had other shit that, unless you was just lazy as fuck, you know, you ain't really no dog man. You know, you ain't no dog man. You missing heats and, you know, that's not dog man shit. You know, so unless you ain't no dog man, you would have already bred that bitch if you felt like it was worth keeping them and, you know what I'm saying, all of that, you know. I like dudes that keep a lot of dogs. You know, sometimes people get in trouble for it, but at least I know that this motherfucker knows the genetics. He kept a lot of them. Most of these dudes, it sounds good. Everybody talking, you know, it sounds good. We all could, you know, articulate, you know, but most dudes is just gonna do exactly the opposite of what they say they're gonna do. Right? They're gonna tell you to fucking keep them all and all of this shit, know this and know that, but they be the first ones to them motherfuckers are for sale. They selling them. They getting rid of them. They can't even keep more than 5 or 7 dogs or, you know what I'm saying, 6. And I'm not saying you need a whole lot, but it's going to be very hard for you to build a family of dogs that you really know if you don't have a number of them. You know, you just got 4 dogs. That's not going to tell you anything. It's not. I did that before. You get crash course. You get little crash course. You know, you got 4 dogs, you got this, and then you got fucking 50 dogs. You know, like you're going to know way more if you got a lot of dogs to raise them up, go through them. You're knowing this, you're knowing that. This should do this female. You're able to make those breedings, you know. Sometimes you can't do that because you don't even have the space to do it. So everything don't get bred. I would have to ask what the bitch was off. What is she off? What's so significant about preserving that line, right? Now, if it was one of your best dogs, or it came off of one of your best dogs, and it's the last of it, you know, I could see doing that. But if it comes off of a line that, like we talk about all the time, dudes breeding dogs you know, at 9 months old, and in the lineage alone, if you look at the lineage, there's hundreds of breedings, hundreds and hundreds of puppies off of that shit. So it's nothing rare, you know, to it. You know, sometimes, yeah, that could have been your dog, but there's a million of them. So, but what's the significance of really trying to breed it though? You know, yeah, she could be good. You would have already bred her. If you think that highly of it, you got to breed her. That's just my opinion, you know. Unless you don't got the means, unless you're lazy. Some dudes ain't dog men though. You know, I had to get back in my bag and shit. You know, I was paying my brother and my cousin to do breedings and shit, trying to coordinate shit. You know, I had to really get back in my bag and it's like, okay, wait a minute. If you're going to be doing this shit, I knew firsthand that you're going to have to be getting your hands dirty. Straight up. Let me see. Quick FC, what up, brother? Melee. It's still early. Still early, man. So nah, man, you know, you can't preserve everything, man. I try to preserve certain things, but I feel like because there was a lot of other shit that I had in life. You know, motherfucker didn't preserve that shit. I mean, we can talk about it now and be like, damn, you know, I wish I had that, you know, because we're doing all of this show and tell and everybody's show and tell, you know, you want to see this and the old shit, nostalgia and, you know, everything. But at the end of the day, you can't preserve everything, bro. You know, you'll never get to the next bracket. You know, your dog probably got 4 brothers better than him. You feel me? Yeah, I know it's an expensive transition, and I know you paid a lot of money, and I know that like we talking about, there's dummies out here that'll just buy that shit up like a motherfucker. It's like a frenzy with puppy sales right now, you know, but there's no significant need to preserve it. Like you can even go back and buy some more, right? Daddy's still around. You can go take 2 bitches up there, breed to them. You can still do all of this luxury shit. There's no need to preserve it at that point, right? Some dudes just want to get straws just because they say they got straws, bruh. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to collect a whole bunch of dogs that, for one, you're not even going to use the shit. It's probably an 80% chance that people that collect the straws, they never use them. He definitely ain't using them all. Very small percentage. If you just going back there collecting a dog that just because it's your dog, that's cool. But when we're looking at the chain of APBTs, the chain of it, he had better be an excellent fucking dog and he had better lived, you know, like fuck all this. Oh, let me collect him before he died. His ass better live. He better be a good dog and he better produce me good dogs. That's worthy of being collected in my eye. You know, so we do it, we talk about it, and sometimes you don't put that barrier right there. Like, hey, this is why I did this. Not because of this. It wasn't because of no money, you know. It could be lucrative now. We all, we looking at it and, they want to, it could be very lucrative now, but it wasn't about that when the first intention. Can't collect them all. Even the mic dogs. It's a lot of them dogs. I don't have them on ice. Yeah, they might die. They might this. You got Mike. You got Mike. You can't just get everything. Breed that shit. Get the generations going, You don't have to breed Mike back to his daughters right away. Oh, let me hurry up. Let me hurry up and do that. And then, be patient. Make the right moves. Make proper steps. Put a puppy here. Get your auntie one. Your partner that just got his new crib and shit. Lace him. That's all. As far as preservation goes.
So by the time that motherfucker 4 years old, the puppies will be 2 years old.
Right.
So goddamn it, you'll know if this motherfucker doing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You'll know if he's producing.
And you know
and
what,
then you can go from there.
What's crazy, my boy, is that's what all the OGs told me after the fact. After my nigga dead, that's when the OG tell me, "Oh, you should have bred that motherfucker. You should have bred him.
You know what I'm saying?
And you should have did this and do that." I'm like, hold up, y'all told me not to breed the motherfucker. Y'all told me I gotta wait till this and that, and nah, man, don't listen to us. You gotta make your own decisions. Ain't that about a bitch? Okay, I got you, motherfucker. Okay, make my own decision. I got you.
No, they don't know her. Shit.
Good thing. See now, this is an example right here. And because we talking about Lord Mayday and Doc. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have preserved Lord Mayday or he wasn't a good dog. Little Lynch been gone for fucking 5 years. Right? There ain't no dogs off of him that much. In my camp, half a dude that I know got one. No matter of fact, I know 2 dudes with one apiece off of Little Lynch. 7-8 got one, and a guy directly in my camp got one. So I know where 4 of them are. Right offhand, maybe a couple more of them. Lord Mayday's daddy is still alive. Right? He's breeding all the time. The guy that owns that dog, he breeds them all the time. They got puppies coming in, good litters, all the time. All the time. That Zeus dog, yeah. Little Lynch was only bred a few times. To me, that would be a difference because there really ain't that much of that shit around. Now, the other dog, shit, yeah, you probably could have bred him and saved yourself a headache, but you could always go back and get that blood. Something happened to Doc, and now you might got 1 or 2 people you could go to try to get any of that blood back, right? I got 4 straws off of Little Lynch collected. We used one of them, it didn't work. I had 5 shots to get that dog back because you couldn't get it. At the time I collected Little Lynch, there was probably only 5 dogs off of Lynch still breathing or less. Today, I don't think there's any breathing. There's no more breathing. Michael Myers was born like 16 years ago. Lil Lynch is younger than that, but he's up there. So you know, we're looking at a line that, and then it never really got its run out there. Little Lynch for sure. Those dogs are not out there. I'm sorry. You're gonna find Michael Myers dogs. You're gonna find, but those Little Lynch dogs are way, way more rare. So even your bottom half, you know, if you look at your bottom half, that breeding, that wasn't done 100 times. That breeding, you know, that wasn't done 100 times. There's not hundreds of dogs that come off of that bottom side, you know. So to me, I wouldn't trip, you know. Jigsaw is Doc's littermate brother too, by the way. Plus, I know where Doc's sister, a sister to Doc is. So you know them dogs. You did the right thing, bro. You got Doc there. The right thing happens, and that bad tragic day, as bad as that day is, if you a real dog man, you didn't lose a damn thing, bro. You know. And I'm not trying to be biased because I bred Doc. I'm not trying to be biased at all. You know. I mean, but I don't think that Doc is. I don't think that that other dog is better than Doc. You know, I don't think that. But you know, I don't think you lost at all, man. You did. You really didn't. Really didn't, man. Anyway, look. Stay dangerous, man. Stay dangerous. It's Buck City, wake and bake. We're gonna get it in. Order that magazine. Let me see. We're gonna get to this post office. I'm trying to be the first one in line. You dig? Can't preserve everything, y'all. As bad as we want to, you know, you can't preserve everything. You make sure that you're making the right steps, you know, every year or every couple years at how you do. You might do your little breeding in moderation to just kind of keep your little bloodline going. You know, if you do plan on doing a breeding and you don't have the means, make sure you get at a bunch of cats that are willing to take on some of the puppies that you could trust. That way you can keep more of them around, you know. If you're trying to preserve it, at least so you can preserve a good one. Like if let's say you send me a good one and he turns out to be better than the one you got, you should want to breed to him, you know. Yeah, we know that one of the brothers Mike can produce better and you know all of this throwing the dice up in the air and shit, but there's still got to be some point in there where you're actually trying to breed good dogs, if that makes sense. That should be your main focus, breeding a good dog. He's a good dog. I don't care what his brother's doing. Now, if his brother has produced good dogs, better dogs, and great dogs already, like, okay, I see them, then I'll go to the less superior brother. But I'm not going to start off on the less, you know, quality animal just because there's a possibility that he could possibly produce better than his brother. You know, I think that's setting yourself up for failure. Big. But hey, get that magazine, man. Get that mag. Get the mag. Get that mag. Tap that link. I'm in the back street. We in the back street, man. Bug City. Salute everybody. We out.